Hey pals, we all know how stressful school can get. Whether it's the pressure of exams, the anxiety of group projects, or even just getting through those long study sessions, it's tough. But here's something that can help. Excel Gum, Canada's #1 gum brand, is bringing you the Back to School soundtrack, an ASMR and Beats fusion album that's all about turning that stress into confidence. Next time you're hitting the books, pop a piece of Excel Gum and tune into this perfect study vibe on Spotify or Apple Music. So why wait? Tune in, enjoy, and let's conquer this school year together.
And we're back with another installment of the Pals podcast. I'm your co-host, Danny G.
And I'm Ricky Liordi.
Is that how I sound?
Yeah.
Okay, Danny, who do we have on this week?
We had Tyler, Tight Knit Clothing.
That's it? So, okay, I'll jump in there. So, me and Tyler, we have been online social media friends for probably the last 2 to 3 years. I think I mentioned that on the podcast. And we've never actually met until the podcast, which I fucking love. And the way we met,
I thought you knew him.
No.
I know. Until the episode, I thought you knew him because I remember when you ordered the hat.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh, I just got this, blah, blah, blah. And I thought you guys knew each other. Ran into each other on King Street or something.
No, we didn't know each other. I love his shit. I love what he's doing. I think he's doing such a cool thing with Tight Knit, building a community, really doing something you're passionate about, something you love. I love the content he makes behind it too. I'm a fan of his shit. So I was like, let's get you on the pod.
He was a very genuine person too about it. And I think the whole building the community was so big for him. And you could see that through his brand.
It's real.
Yeah.
It's not like this is a money grab. I'm just doing this to make a couple bucks. No, he believes in this and this is real to him. And that's what you want. I've been rocking this hat. You'll see it in my vlogs, in my TikToks. I've been fucking with this hat since you gave it to me. So I hope you know that.
And the other one's behind you.
And the other one's still here. It's on the wall.
Right behind you.
It's in a good shot. So if you guys want to buy this hat, tightknitclothing.ca.com. The link will be in the description here. Go support local brands. He makes some fucking great shit. The golf shirts are good. I didn't know this. He was a fucking 2 handicap as well.
Yeah, insane.
Which is wild. But yeah, just a fucking beauty.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Thanks for coming on, Tyler.
Yeah, thanks for being a pal. And thanks for bringing us the goodies. The stickers here too, actually.
Tight.
And yeah, Danny, what do we say?
Let's fucking go.
I haven't, but my wife is a psychotherapist, so she's basically...
Okay, mic up now. Yeah.
Am I here?
Yeah,
We're here. We're
good
talking.
now.
You know what's actually in grade 10, my teacher called my mom and said, I think you should get your daughter tested. She asked too many questions.
Wow.
And my mom's like, hey, I maybe have is there more you could say? She's like, oh no, my daughter has it, but your daughter just asks questions. She knows the answer. She's asked a lot of questions. And it's because I didn't like doing things wrong.
Right.
So I wanted to ask the question just to make sure I was right. And I was like, okay, fuck this. Whatever. She's fine. But the more and more I hear about other symptoms, the more it could possibly have a diagnosis.
Right, because you see the TikToks too, and it's
you're,
I
this
have
is me.
this.
Well, even the chewing noise is my biggest thing. But again, that's so small.
Apparently that is a side effect of ADHD, apparently.
Is it?
Yeah.
Do you have it? Or
I think I have it for sure. My wife's like, yeah, Hundo P, you've got ADHD.
So you never thought about going to get checked or getting the meds?
I don't even know what to do, what the next steps are. I guess you...
My cousin got diagnosed at 33.
Okay.
And for her, it was more it explained certain parts of her life where she could kind of fix and improve on.
Yeah.
So she went through the necessary steps to do that. But I feel right now, personally, I'm undiagnosed and probably don't have it. Yeah. But let's say I were to go get tested and they're like, hey, yeah, you do. I don't know if I'd actually do anything because I feel like I'm okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. If it's not hindering your life, then why would you change? Because they're going to give you meds, right? That's the answer to ADHD. They're going to give you the drug we all took at university to study. Adderall, that's whatever. Ritalin. Well, that might be great for focus, but it might screw up your sex life or might screw up your creative.
Right, there's side effects. Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
So you might not sleep.
Right. Yeah.
Did you go to school?
I went to Georgian College.
Okay.
So I actually took the golf program there. So when I was in high school.
What's the golf program?
So it's the PGM course, so it's professional golf management. So it's basically a business course but catered to the golf industry.
No
so
fucking
instead
way.
of like teaching you marketing your business, it's like marketing the pro shop or the golf course. You know what I mean? Things like that.
Shut
right?
up.
Because I grew up, I got my first job. I was 12 years old. I was raking sand traps at Cardinal Golf Course. Right. So throughout high school, I just worked at golf courses. It's like I didn't know what I wanted to do with my life. So it's like, okay, well, there's a course here. I might as well just do that. But then you learn later that there's no real money in golf unless you're like a pro or something, right?
Unless you own like a nice course. But even owning a course, it doesn't make money because the land is worth more half the time.
Exactly. Yeah. So I went to Georgian up in Barrie. It was a 3-year course.
That's it. I've never met anyone who's done that.
Yeah, I think there's one in Toronto too. They offer a course at one of the colleges or universities.
Okay, so you did that. What did you do after school then?
So after school, like I said, like there's no real money. Like you're making basically minimum wage, you know, in the pro shop or whatever, right? So my buddies had construction companies, you know. I worked at a tire shop. I built property fence. And then I got a job at Mosaic, which is like, you've probably heard of it, right? Like it's experiential marketing, right? And I loved that. I loved being in front of people, like talking shit, like selling products and stuff like that. And
I can see you doing it though. Now.
Yeah, so that was a lot of fun. Did that for a few summers, you know what I mean? And then
what programs? Any good ones?
Alexander Keith's was good. We traveled around Ontario. We go into bars and they would have the new beer on tap, and like we'd pour them into like little mugs, and then we'd like give samples out. So that was cool to like see Ontario like all over the place, right? Michelob Ultra was probably my favorite. So we were driving around Toronto in a branded car. And we had, because of like legal reasons, it was the slim cans, right? They had to be boxed and you had to ID absolutely everyone. It didn't matter if you looked 90 years old, like you had to be ID'd, right? So we just pull up at like a popular spot, pop the trunk, and just like hand out beers to everyone in the city. That was pretty cool.
Like the most loved guy
Yeah.
in the city.
Oh, and then there would be like kids like trying to steal them and stuff, because we'd have our trunk open and you'd be like interacting with people. And then like this one kid tried to pull up on his skateboard and like grab a beer or whatever, because they were just like exposed like in our trunk or whatever. So yeah, that was a lot of fun. That was a great job. Like I loved that job.
But again, that also pays basically minimum wage. Fun ass job though.
Yeah.
Fun ass job.
You know what? I had so many friends that worked for Mosaic, and everyone had a good experience.
Yeah.
Like no one hated it.
The best thing about it, like this is what I tell my construction buddies right now, like, you know, we're in our mid 30s now, and all they do is they go to work and then they come home and they're dead tired. Like some of them don't have girlfriends or whatever. And I'm like, you need to put yourself out there. Like I was lucky to have jobs like that where you meet so many people, right? Like your age, and then you like meet their friends, and then you have opportunities to meet more people and like build like a bigger community, right? Whereas like when you're in other positions, like construction, whatever, you're just working with the same guys every day. You come home and there's no opportunities to be social, right? So
bang on.
Yeah.
Honestly. Like I remember we had so many friends. It was such a Western, like we went to Western. We're different ages, but so many people from Western did it in the summer times.
Oh,
like
Mosaic, yeah.
Yeah, like it was
I did one gig for them.
Oh, did you? What did you do?
I did one party at the porch. I couldn't even tell you. I couldn't even tell you again what we were like giving out. But I remember like I did it with one of my friends at the Jays, and we did it once. I think it was like 2 days, and then we were just helping out.
That's hilarious.
But it was so much fun.
One of the ones that I was supposed to go to was this is when Bud Light or Bud Camp.
Okay, yeah.
So my ex at the time, this is from like 2010 or something. She worked for Bud or Budweiser, and they knew how to like rig the contest so you would win. It was like you have to do something, and then if you get picked in a raffle, you got sent to Bud Camp.
Right.
Is that why George won?
No, that's a different thing. But she's like, "Okay, come to this event. I can probably like get you on." And long story short, I went to the event. I'm like, I don't want to go to Bud Camp and watch you have to flirt with every other dude here.
Right.
She was hot, right?
Yeah.
Well, she is hot. She's not dead. But yeah, so she, I'm like, do I want to come to your work where I know you have to flirt with men as like part of your job, and men are going to flirt with you because you're hot. So I was like, you know what? You have fun at Bud Camp. I'll just not go.
See, I took that job so serious because I wanted to be like the best at it and like hopefully get like an office position. Because for the most part, it was like, you know, 18, 19, 20-year-olds, right? I think I was like 23, 24. So I was kind of like on the older
You
side.
were a vet. Yeah, you were a vet.
Right? So like most people just didn't care. Like they're on their phones, whatever. You know what I mean?
And there's
I was,
you
like,
just
trying to
taking
be
it
that
serious.
guy, like,
Kid with the skateboard, fucking put it down now.
yeah. But
I just picture you like bolting down the street chasing this kid.
yeah,
with a
that
skateboard.
summer was crazy because I was the Michelob guy, right? Because if there was leftover beers, I'd go to the house party and I'd pull up with like
And bring everything.
just a cooler full of Michelobs. So
That was one of our
pretty tight.
friends at Western. I can't. Jeff Whale. He was vitamin water. Or no, this was Mila, DB's sister. She had vitamin water, so they had it all in a storage container, and like the program was done. So whatever they didn't use by the end of the day was going back to head office or like the warehouse. I used to drive a Hummer H3. Took my Hummer H3 to the storage unit, and I kid you not, we packed so much fucking vitamin water into my H3 that when we got in the car, so she sat, I put it on her lap, put it on her feet, when I drove, I put 2 on my lap, and I drove with like 2 on my lap.
Oh, yeah.
I kid you not, we drank vitamin water for the entire year almost.
Oh, yeah.
Every pre-drink, like there were days where we didn't have water, we were drinking vitamin water.
Yeah.
But it was the best.
The best ever.
Okay, so take us from there. Again, continue the story. So after Georgian golf program, then you did Mosaic, then...
So then I was always kind of a nerd. Like we were... Like I'm old. Like I'm gonna be 36 this year, right?
I'm like
so
2
my
years behind
family,
you,
like
buddy.
I grew up with dial-up internet. You know what I mean? And like I remember our family first got the computer, whatever. And I was kind of like a nerdy kid. Like I liked the internet. I liked searching the web. I'm a huge hip hop fan. I used to post on like a hip hop forum and like talk music, and like you learn a bit about coding and stuff like when you post to a forum or whatever. So I had like a background in like the internet. My buddy's like, hey, you know, I know you're really good at the internet or whatever. He's like, I have a position for you for like inbound marketing company, right? Which is at that time, which was super early, like which is driving people to your website to buy your product, right? So basically, I worked at this company for like 4 or 5 years. I worked at a couple other agencies, and I was just like the social media guy. That was like my role. So I have a strong background in social media. So years and years later, like again, hip hop, skateboarding, everything. I was into fashion, and I always loved like looking different, like wearing stuff that no one else had. And I loved supporting like local brands. Like I loved Legends League, which is from Toronto. You know, I had a couple buddies that had fashion brands as well, and I just loved rocking something that no one else had. You pull up to the party and people are like, yo, what is that? What are you wearing? You know what I mean? Instead of everyone wearing the same Nike hoodie or whatever it is, right? So then I was like, you know what? I think I can do this. Because you look at some of these brands, like the quality's bad, or like, you know, they've got the vision, but it's just not right. It's not there or whatever. And I was like, I got the social media background, like, so I can be posting that. I know how to build a website from all of my experience. So I can kind of do all these things on my own, which would cost anyone else that doesn't have those skills like thousands of dollars to do, right? If you're first starting a brand. So that was kind of like how it started.
So then, so what year did you start Tighten It then?
So I had the idea in 2016. I didn't start making clothes until 2017. But there was a company called The Chive. It was like a website. Do you remember The Chive? It was like a guy's website.
Yeah, and then had like The Chive Girl or something.
Yeah, they had like funny videos and stuff like that. But what they did with their merch was they had this green shirt. It was called Keep Calm, Chive On, right? And what was really neat about them is like it was a community. So if you saw another chiver wear that shirt, you would like go dap them up, say, hey, you know, and like instantly be friends if you saw them around the city or wherever you were, right? So it's like, I want to build a brand that has that community, that feeling. So I was thinking of names and Tight Knit, right? That tight knit community. That's where that comes from, right? And then I was like freestyling logos. I was like, let me play off the knit aspect of Tight Knit. So my logo is like the yarn and needles, right? And then that's kind of how it snowballed. And then like in 2017, I was just, you know, freestyling. And like that's still kind of how I run it, is like I just freestyle. Like I just make what I want to make. And if other people like it, then, you know, that's tight, right?
I didn't know this story.
Yeah.
Because like
Me neither. Like I'm like shocked.
Yeah,
like,
it's
in a good way.
So me and you would have, I guess, like we're online friends. Like we've been online friends for a while. And I think it's like I just like randomly bought your hat one day, like the blue one with the
you
orange.
rock that a lot.
Yeah,
I love
the
that.
blue and the orange. Yeah, I just
yeah.
saw it. I was like, I fucking like this. Like I don't know you, but I fuck with you. I was like,
Yeah.
yo, let me support it. Bought this hat. And then we just like follow, like randomly hit each other up. And I'm like, I had no idea any of this story.
Yeah.
It's just wild though. Like when you're internet friends with people, and then you
I know it's funny, eh? Like it's like I'll see people and I'm like, I know your Instagram username. I don't know your real name.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I feel
it's
like
funny.
that happens.
Well, man, do you know why people call me Patrick?
Yeah.
Like even one guy at the pickleball tournament this weekend. He's like, "Hey Patrick, how's it going? Long time no see." I was like, "Oh God, you don't even remember my real name. You think it's Patrick because that's your pal Rick, right?"
Right.
So everyone thinks you're Patrick, and it's like, okay, well, fuck it.
Yeah.
So many people don't even remember it.
Yeah, it's hilarious.
That's a wild story though, and I've always loved the name of it, Titan, and like it makes sense with the community aspect of it, right?
For sure. And like people, they always say the logo, right? They're like, your logo's so unique, right? And I love that because a lot of brands don't have that logo. Like, for example, another company that inspired me was Smokes Poutineery, right? Like, anytime I'd be in the city, I'd see that guy's head, right? Just the logo. And I'd be like, what the hell is this, right? Like, what is this? And then I finally saw a Smokes Poutineery. I was like, oh my God, that's what that is, right? So I kind of wanted to make a logo where like I would stick stickers all around Toronto. And I wanted people to be like, what the hell is this yarn, like this knitting logo, right? And then when they finally see it, be like, holy shit, you know what I mean? So
I love that because I'm a big sticker guy. I think like I'm the same way. I think having a brand presence where people's like, what the fuck is this and why am I seeing this everywhere?
Exactly.
Is so great.
Yeah.
It's like, that's the old age of like going viral.
Oh, for sure.
You know what I mean? People just organically talking about a sticker they saw on the corner
I
street.
love stickers. I've always loved stickers, but like that's some of my budget, my marketing budget. I'll come down here, I'll print off like 1,000 and I'll just around King Street, you know, just slap them everywhere.
It's also one thing that like you're always seeing. Cause I remember with Cass when we did this, like we were constantly going, like I was bringing even stickers to like LA and on vacation with me, posting them around. But it's like one of those things, like you always have it and you don't know where you're going to be.
Yeah, like when you're waiting across the street, you're like...
Yeah, you're waiting across the street.
And you're always staring at something.
Yeah, exactly.
You're always going to notice something different. So what if that one day someone noticed it and they're like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
And then it's your brand and they go and Google it.
Exactly.
Like that's a cool concept.
I've always loved it.
So I had this one strategy with one of my stickers. I stole it from... oh God, I can't even think of their name now. I have dementia, but it's a West Coast company. He came out with a book. It's called "This Is Not a T-Shirt." Really great book. If you're interested in fashion or like starting a brand or whatever, like I suggest you read it. But he had a strategy because he was an LA-based brand and he wanted to move to New York. Obviously, if you see something like hateful or something, it's going to draw a lot of attention to you, right? Like I learned that with blog writing, like negative blog titles do better than like positive ones, right? And that's why our news is so effed up right now, is because negativity
no one
sells.
wants to see people do well.
Exactly, right?
But time out, there was that John Krasinski thing during COVID, the good news, good morning, good news or something. Nobody remembers that?
No idea what you're talking about.
So, during COVID, John Krasinski started something that was like the good news.
Oh,
media.
okay, now I remember that. Yeah.
And it's like he only talked for 30 minutes. He did it every day. He only talked about the good news.
Yeah, because people were so surrounded by negativity.
But yeah, I
nonstop. But like, if you see a headline that says
6 people killed in a shooting,
you're gonna read that before you read 6 people went to the park to play and had fun.
Well, that's not news, but
okay, whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But anyway, his strategy was to go into New York, was to say make sticker, or he made Bristol boards or whatever, like slapped around the city saying fuck this brand, or like you're not welcome, this brand, to New York, right? And that drew a lot of attention. So by the time he opened up the store, like people were coming and like they wanted to see
they're trying to support too.
So
they're like, man, this guy's getting shit on.
So I made the sticker in bright red and white saying fuck tight knit clothing, and I slapped those around the city, and people would always like, you know, send me pictures like, what the hell is this, right? So that was like a strategy I took.
Okay, what was your best marketing strategy you've had in terms of like actual like sales and like actual numbers, and what was your worst?
Wow.
You don't have to give us the numbers behind it.
This is the thing. Like, I don't really spend a lot on advertising. Like, I'd say my worst was like Facebook ads. Like, even though I have a history in that, like when it comes to your own brand and stuff, like it's hard and it takes a lot of money to like get it right. That's why like typically it won't be companies. It's like, you know, companies that are making a lot of money put money into ads because, you know, they have a whole marketing budget, you know, $100,000 a year to spend, right? For me, you know, if I spend $200 on an ad, like that's a lot, right? If it doesn't bring anything back, right? So I'd probably say like Facebook ads is tough.
What was your best?
My best is like, it's
or
always
like your best campaign.
It's really always like word of mouth, to be honest with you. Like the thing that I really take pride in with my brand is like, if I wouldn't rock it, I'm not going to sell it to you. And I'm picky as fuck. So I'm not going to sell you some $5 t-shirt. You know what I mean? With like some direct to transfer, direct to film print on it or whatever cheap thing that's going on right now these days. Like I'll never do that, right? Like
one thing that I love that you do is like packaging the orders.
Yeah.
I didn't see them too much before. Now I see them more, obviously, but you were doing it. I remember watching you package mine.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I fucking love this. Like, it's something so stupid. And you see people doing it on like TikTok lives and shit all the time.
No, but it's the small things. That's the things that
you
remember.
Well, it's content, right? Like for me, I'm such a content creator. Like I love creating content. So anything that I can do, like I'll probably make a TikTok, like, and I'll pretend that I just entered the Pals podcast and I'll like film and I'll upload it to TikTok or whatever. But like, that's the biggest thing is like, if you're starting a brand, if you don't have any background in social media, website design, sales, or anything, like it's going to be hard for you. So I would suggest
you need to hire someone, and that's money that you can't afford when you're starting off a business and starting a brand.
Like I'm the best sales rep for Tighten It because I'm always on the phone. I'm always making TikToks. I'm always making content stories, and like packing orders is just another easy way to get another video out there, right?
What do you think the hardest part about your business is?
Like recognition and sales, right? Like you find out like looking into a lot of these brands that like, a lot of these owners have a team backing them or like a lot of money, right? Like they're trust fund kids and they just have hundreds of thousands of dollars to just put into something. To me, this is just passion. I like clothing. I like designing, I like creating, I like making content. So like this is like a great little side hustle and my creative outlet, you know what I mean? And that's the way I look at it. I'm not in it to make money. Like, sorry guys, if you're gonna start a brand, you're not gonna make money, you know what I mean? So you really have to love it. Like I've been doing it 6-7 years now and it's like barely profitable, right? So it's like
we were literally just talking about this off air too, right?
Yeah.
Like, same with this podcast. It does not make any money. Like sometimes we get sponsors, sometimes we can make a little bit. This bleeds money.
Yeah.
And we know because we enjoy it. And there's
it's not just money, time. And time is money.
Time is money, right? It's one of those things, but like we were saying earlier, and I feel like we've been saying this on almost every podcast lately. It's just meeting cool people, getting someone's undivided attention, getting to hear there's like, look, I've known you technically for 2-3 years now. Yeah. First time I knew you went to fucking golf school.
Yeah.
It's the first time I've heard this story behind it. That's because I follow you and you make a lot of content. And it's like, fuck, didn't know that. We've had people come on. We're like, wait a second, I've known you for 4 years. And
hey, his hat says Tighten It Golf Club.
That's right.
Well, he's like, he does a lot of golf stuff too,
I make
right?
golf stuff too.
You also do, completely off topic here, but you also do like what a collab would look like.
Yeah.
Like you'll do a lot of those, which are sick. And then you'll even highlight other brands that are doing cool shit. The New Balance and what collab? It was New Balance and Action Bronson.
Action Bronson.
Yeah, you like highlight that. Which
well, that's another piece of content, right? Because like you start learning on social media, you can't be too salesy about your own thing, but like you want impressions. So like, why not comment on something that I like? It's still in the same realm of Tighten It clothing, but it's just on other brands, right? And it like I've had videos, like I made a video on Crocs, like the new Nike Crocs, and that did like 1.2 million.
It's also
views,
building
right?
that kind of community, like you said. Like
well,
you're kind of bringing
like,
everything together, but it still has to do with your brand.
Yeah.
And it's also you liking something. Someone could like that and see, hey, he likes this. Maybe I'll go check his stuff out, and then it can increase the sales. Because
my consumer is basically just me, like someone that likes hip hop music, golf, wants to look different, wants to support local brands, like likes New Balance, like whatever, right? Yeah. So it's like if I make that content still, hopefully I find those people like me. They'll find my brand, follow me, like who I am, and then they'll start buying from me.
Do you have a day job?
I do.
What's your day job?
So I work for my mom's company. We work with nursing students. So we work with colleges and universities that offer primarily nursing programs, and like nursing students have to go into placement, and we make sure that their medical records are okay and all their certifications are good to go before they go into placement. So we kind of offload that workload from like the coordinators and teaching staff, and we're basically like data entry. We're like a data entry company.
Did not know that. So now I get why tight knit's important for you to get your creative aspect
exactly out. Yeah, well, like I helped my mom. Like my mom was stressed out because it was her business. Good for her, it's very successful, but like the way that she was running it was crazy. Like we'd go up on the weekend and she'd be so stressed out on the computer, and I'd be like, Mom, what the hell is going on? She's like, I'm working, and I'd look over her shoulder and she's still printing paper out and filling things in. I'm like, what are you doing? Like, this can be streamlined. You don't have to do any of this. So she's like, oh my God, I wish you'd help me. So I was like, I saw an opportunity there, so I quit my job at an agency, worked with her. I've completely streamlined the business. So now she told me this morning, she's like, she always reminds me, she's like, Tyler, you like saved my life. Like because it was my 3rd year anniversary this week, actually today.
Oh, congrats.
And she was like, oh my God, like you saved my life, because she was working like basically every day, just doing simple tasks that can be like automated,
especially
right?
now with AI too.
Yeah.
See, I love the story between everything you've done and how you even went into tight knit. And it was more for you. Like, obviously, you had a passion for fashion.
Yeah.
But
that's cute.
I didn't mean to.
What a
but
rhyme.
I caught myself. But just like even like how outgoing you are and like the creative side and your marketing background.
Yeah.
And how you're bringing it into all of it, though.
Yeah.
Whenever you do something for the right reason and you do something that you're passionate about, even if you don't succeed at the end goal, let's say you don't make $1 million with Titan and you don't sell it to one of the major players or whatever, at least you're having fun and you're doing something that you enjoy and you do something that you're passionate about and you do something that makes a difference to you. That's the only thing that fucking matters.
That's the thing, because some people will put pressure on me and it's like, it kind of hurts my feelings. Like, I don't want to have 50 employees, you know what I mean? And like shops all over the place. Like, I don't want that at all. Like, if I made enough money that it generated, whatever, like that's sweet, you know what I mean? But like realistically, I hate managing people. I don't want employees. So like, if
you're trying to streamline all of it,
if it can just be me and like some other people or like whatever,
some of your closest friends or something.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like that would be amazing if I could just make some good side money and like open up the doors to have collaborations with other brands or whatever, you know what I mean? Like, then that's sweet. But like, I don't really care about getting an H&M or like, in Winners or, you know what I mean? Like that's really not my goal.
It's funny. Again, it's funny you said, even with a lot of the side things. So I have a day job too, construction, family business. And similar to you, like I've helped, streamline a lot of the things at our business too. And a lot of my side hustles, if you want to call them that, I always set goals, and sometimes the goals are monetary goals. Sometimes they're more like personal goals. Sometimes they're this and that. With the podcast, it's one thing that I've never had a monetary goal, and I've never really had a personal goal with it. And then recently, maybe like a week ago, I signed us up for a contest to like win an award. So I was like, I'm so goal driven in everything I do, and I have like very strict goals where it's like, this year I wanted to, in terms of my content, I wanted to generate X amount of sales through X amount of deals. Okay, I smashed that. Pickleball, I wanted to get this amount of sponsorship dollars and I want to finish in this position or higher. Boom. The podcast, I never set goals. It's always like, I just want to meet cool people and do cool shit. If we can, record at a concert venue, that'd be cool. If we can meet cool people, that'd be cool. Then I'm like, no, fuck it. Like, that's why I signed up for this fucking random award. It cost me like $70 to even enter the contest. I'm like, this is bullshit. It's a waste of money. But fuck it, I want to win an award for this podcast this year.
Yeah,
we could sit down and like do like short-term goals, like whether it's just like,
but we never do.
Getting our favorite like this one artist or this one athlete to come on the podcast.
It's just tough because like again, we are like you're busy, I'm busy, and then even when we say like it's for you after taxi, it's gonna slow down. And then it was busy for me because pickleball, and then it picks up for you. And there's always things. That's why I'm like, I just thought about it the other day because I'm doing a different project that I just set my goals for. And one of them was I wanted to win this award or I want to get this recognition. So I was like, ironically, at the same time I was thinking about that, I was thinking about the podcast and I was like, fuck it. I literally Googled podcast awards, clicked the first link that showed up, fucking entered it. Yeah. So I was like, that's something I wanted to do.
But this is the thing though, like you were saying, the podcast doesn't make you money, but look at the skills that you guys have built from doing the podcast, right? Like I remember watching another episode and you were like, you want to host a game show or something, right? Like now you have a background in holding a microphone, hosting people in front of camera. Like those are skills. So a company like whoever might look and be like, wow, like you have a nice resume now, right? Well, like for me, yeah, I run a brand, but like I learned how to build a website. I do photo shoots. I work with models. I work with, influencers. Designing. I do all this stuff. Like those are skills. Yeah, I'm not making $1 million a year doing it, but those are still skills that
it's the experience you're building.
Exactly.
Well, again, even with this, a lot of doing this, I'm assuming helped me do my TikToks.
Yeah.
Right. Like we were talking about this. We just kind of did a little shoot before this. And I hate taking photos in front of people.
Yeah.
Like I absolutely despise it. If there's people watching and don't want to take a photo. She's like, how can you hate doing that, but you can talk into a camera in front of potentially millions of people and not bat an eye? I'm like, it's just a camera. It's just me. It's easy. But doing this and talking as much as we've done, again, this is episode 280 something, which is fucking insane.
Yeah.
It's like probably helped me with those skills. And even I find myself, like when I used to go on dates, I'd find myself asking a lot of the questions some of my favorite questions I asked on the podcast. Or when I'm in general conversation with new people, I find myself that I'm a better listener because of this podcast.
For sure.
Again, there's no preset questions. Like you saw, like we started talking about golf in your school and how like just we roll with it.
Yeah.
And then you have to listen to like ask questions based off your answer. Not like, oh, okay, we're 20 minutes in, I'm going to queue up this question, boom, and go. It's like, hey, let's ask questions based off what you answered. Mm-hmm. So I feel like it made me a great conversationalist.
I think it's made me a better conversationalist. I grew up dancing, could dance in front of whatever audience, no problem. Mm-hmm. Worked for the Jays, danced in front of 50,000 people, did promotions, didn't have to talk.
Yeah.
Public speaking, talking to people of authority made me sometimes nervous, even though I'm such like an extrovert.
Yeah.
Coming on this podcast now, it took me a while though. Like I go back to some of like the beginning episodes, I'm like, I was mute. Even some days, like I'm not as like.
Yeah.
We haven't told the story on the podcast.
Like I was mute.
We had one episode where we were recording at Velvet Underground.
Okay, we've said this many times.
I know, but I haven't told it recently, so I'm gonna tell it.
Like a month ago.
No, definitely not. So we're doing that Velvet Underground with this artist named Ariana something.
Grande?
No, I wish. She's blowing up though. She's like a big TikTok singer. She's a great person. Loved her music.
Yeah.
So we're there again. Like we said, we don't get nervous first, but some days you're stressed. Like you're coming in, you're setting up, get the lights up, get the laptop ready, get everything ready, blah blah. And we're in this like shit little dungeon of a room. Like there's no outlets in the room.
Our extension cord wasn't long enough. It was just
So we're there. We're both stressed. I'm like, hey, Danny. The girl comes down. She's all nice, smiling. Oh, God bless her soul.
Is there a crowd?
No.
Oh, okay.
But so we're doing it like in the green. We're supposed to do it in the green room, but it was busy. So we're basically in this like little corner off to the side. This is like right after sound check. Kid you not, we got 40 minutes. Maybe like the 28th, 30th minute in, at one point I just look at her. I was like, are you going to say something at all this episode? Like, fuck.
And I literally looked at him and I was
She's like, yeah, no.
And what was going through?
I was just like I was stressed because I had to like set everything up. Like I was just like running around. I was tired from work.
Yeah.
And I just was not having one of those days. And it was still very early on for me.
Yeah.
Being on mic with the podcast. So I felt like, no, this
honestly,
is it.
like I have the utmost respect for like actors and stuff. Like, because like some of them will like they're going through a divorce or something, and now you're on set. Like, how do you being able to like be in that state of mind and shut everything off and like do it is crazy.
Well, we have a lot of artists on the podcast, and I say this all the time. Like when you go up on stage and have to sing a song, like you could have the worst day ever.
Yeah.
And you have to sing the happiest song ever. Like
you have to show that you're happy.
And you have to show that you're happy. Like, are you acting? Do you have to like flip the switch? Like, what do you do to kind of get yourself in that? And I think that sometimes I'm learning how to do it more here.
Even for me, like this is such a small scale, but like I'll make TikToks and there's days where I'm miserable, heartbroken, fucking borderline depressed.
Yeah.
And I got to put on a fake smile and be like, oh, have a go lucky, like TikTok, yeah. And it's like, it fucking sucks.
Yeah.
But it's part of the job and some days you have to. And I think this, at least for you, like there was a month straight where Danny would come in and she's like, oh, I don't feel pretty. I don't want to record today. I'm like, Danny, if I have to hear you fucking say this one more time, I'm going to snap. And she's like, you know what? Oh, you're right. I'm not going to say it. I don't think you've said it in 2 months. And that's not an exaggeration.
Amazing.
Danny's like, I'm going to fucking kill him right now. No, but there's literally like, we got to fight one day because she was just like, it was like every episode I'm like, Danny, I can't come in here and listen to you say this. Like, stop. Either don't be on camera or just figure it the fuck out. And the last, I think, literally 2 months, I don't think you've said it once.
I think for other reasons, but that's something we can hash out separately, not on the podcast right now with our guests.
No,
clip it.
No. That's a clip. I think right now, I think what I've realized is talking to you as a male friend versus me talking to my girlfriends. And that's something I had to realize this late on into our friendship.
Okay. Noted.
Beautiful.
Yeah, weird one.
Guys, we're making some progress.
We are.
on the Palace Podcast.
Yeah, really random time, but you know what? You never know what happens.
All right, it's part of what we do. What are some of your goals for Tighten It then? Like, do you have them? It's just, again, I want to make cool shit that I like and people buy it.
Yeah, honestly, like I don't really have many goals. Like I said, like some brand opportunities, like collabing with brands would be dope. Like
who's your
like,
dream
like
collaboration?
New Balance, I would love to do. Like I consider myself a New Balance baddie. I'm 36.
How many do you have?
I'm 36 right now, so I've transitioned to New Balance like 4 or 5 years ago because it helps my back. You know, when I'm I can't walk in Jordans for too many blocks. You know, the back starts hurting. But like anything like in the golf, you know what I mean? Like, you know, any brand that's trying to do like golf stuff because of my history in golf, I think that would be super dope. Like you saw, like, I don't know if you guys saw, but 7-Eleven just came out with a golf line, like polos and stuff like that. Right?
Really?
And it's like, that's so bizarre to me, but it's like everyone's trying to get into golf. So it's like, for me, being a golfer like my whole life and being really good at it, with the fashion sense, like that'd be dope to do a collab with like a brand that isn't golf. And like,
what's your handicap?
I am a 2.1.
Oh,
right
fuck.
Now. Yeah.
You are good.
Yeah.
You know what?
And honestly,
is,
I'll be
right?
honest. We can clip this too. It pisses me off being a guy that's been in golf my whole life, and now because of the golf boom, because of COVID, seeing all these brands jump into golf clothing, and you probably the guy that created it can't even break 100. You know what I mean? Like that, to me, you're a culture vulture. Like you are trying to make money off the golf industry when you're not really about that life. So coming from a guy that is about that life, like.
Well, so do you know how good a 2.8
annoying.
is? So like scratch is 0. And like, if you're a scratch golfer, you're basically a pro golfer. You can be pro golfer if you're a scratch golfer.
Well, the pros are like, so it's weird. 0 is scratch, but plus is like better than 0. So if you're a plus, like pros are like probably plus 15, plus 10. Like they.
Have you ever tried doing like? Did you try making?
That was the thing. So in the golf program, like, so to be a head pro at a golf course, you have to call they call it shooting in. So you go. It's a 2-day tournament. You spend like $1,200. And then you play 2 rounds of golf at this golf course. It changes every year. And you have to shoot like 75 or lower, which is super doable for me. But I just, at that time when I was in my early 20s, I wasn't this good. Like I've gotten better in my 30s, to be honest with you.
Do you know Gianfranco Guida? This is really random.
Maybe.
He's the head pro at, near your house, the one I went to.
You went to King's Riding.
King's Riding.
That's not
I've
near
never
my
played.
house.
I have played King's Riding.
I think he's the pro there.
Okay.
So he's got his amateur card.
Okay.
So I know you guys are probably similar. Like.
Yeah, there's like different levels to it. Like, you know, once you shoot in and get your card, then you can teach. And then like usually a brand like Titleist or TaylorMade will like sponsor you or whatever, but then you have to keep paying that every year for that like sponsorship or whatever. I don't exactly know how it works, but
I know what you mean with the culture vulture thing. So I'm big into pickleball now, obviously, right? There are so many brands that are like, oh, like I'm coming out with like the new top of line paddle. It's like
well, that's one thing. That's like technology, but like
but it's all the same
for
shit,
like 7-Eleven, you know what I mean? Like you're making golf polos and stuff. Like how does that
You're
tie
like,
to
why?
your brand, 7-Eleven? You know what I mean? Or like, I understand golf is cool. It's like what to do now is come out with golf clothing. But like if you aren't a golfer, you don't have no history golfing, like I look at you a type of way. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so. No, I get it.
Okay, if you think of golf, what are the top 3 brands that you think of?
Great question, Danny.
Oh my God.
Tighten it.
I have my 3.
Oh, do you?
You don't golf.
I started golfing during COVID.
All right. So what are your top 3 brands? Because I want to hear it from
No, I
You
would
go
not
first.
have. I don't have any. I'm saying the ones that come to mind for me would be Nike.
Okay.
I only have 2. Titleist.
Yeah.
I don't know my third. I
Probably
can picture the
TaylorMade.
logo. Yes, that one.
TaylorMade's probably. See, Nike doesn't make equipment anymore, but they're like fashion-wise.
I'm saying
obviously-
fashion-wise. I'm just saying
okay,
like
just
fashion. Like yeah.
The red polo, like
Yeah.
the red tiger.
yeah.
You can't. Yeah, that's
I'm thinking those are
untouchable.
the 3. Those are the 3 I'm thinking of at the top of my head as a non-golfer.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
I joke around that I golf. No, I haven't golfed in 2 years.
She's got good ones. The one I would also throw out there right now is Puma,
Yeah.
Ricky Fowler, and Kygo. Like Kygo, Ricky Fowler, that collab I think was fucking bang on.
Yeah.
I think they did a really good job on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, Danny nailed it though. Those are the main ones. I fuck with Kirkland balls though.
Kirkland balls, the Costco balls. Yeah,
I fuck with those.
Such a good deal.
Well, bang, and Vices too. Vices
great.
Great custom balls for a cheap price. Yeah, my
Yeah.
brother got me onto those.
Yeah.
But yeah, TaylorMade.
Okay,
Callaway is
so
also solid.
what do you think top 3?
So yeah, like I'm a
golfer.
TaylorMade guy as far as equipment, but like I have.
Well, TaylorMade's also Adidas
Vokey
too, right?
wedges, right? Like
TaylorMade's Adidas.
yeah.
Same shit.
Well, actually, I think they separated.
Did they? I thought they were own. Didn't Adidas own TaylorMade?
They did at some point, but I think they separated TaylorMade's.
Okay.
But anyway, yeah, those are like the big ones, like Titleist, TaylorMade. You know.
What do you think that the golf fashion scene is missing?
It's funny because this was a topic I made a TikTok about it a couple weeks ago. Is the loose, like some courses are too strict with like the polos and tucking your shirt in and stuff like that. Like
this was literally my next question.
To me, like one of my favorite things to do is to pull up to a golf course, wear like a camo tight knit golf club hat backwards, have the untucked polo, you know what I mean? Like rocking the crew socks with some Jordan golf shoes. And like, I want people to look at me like, who the hell is this asshole? And then watch me stripe it on the first tee. You know what I mean?
So like, you're okay with like the culture of golf becoming more lenient?
I think if you're still respectful of the golf course itself, because that's the thing is like, you have to show the golf course respect. You have to show the people you're playing with respect, show the people that work there with respect. I think that what you wear doesn't really matter, right? People think that if you wear a t-shirt that you're going to be an asshole, you're going to drive your golf cart on the green and run over the flagpole. You know what I mean? Like there's no correlation between those two. So I think if we relax it a bit, like even like gym shirts, like how they're like sweat wicking or whatever, like why isn't that cool to wear on a golf course? Like
no, but you're right. Think about the walkout tunnels in every sport now. Like hockey used to be all about suits. You got to come suit. Okay, it's still about suits.
Yeah.
But the term suits is very loose in hockey tunnels now. Like NBA tunnels and NFL.
Well, it's a fashion show now, right?
Those two, NFL and NBA now, is insane.
Yeah.
It is.
Well, the NHL's
insane.
really caught up to the NBA now.
The
right?
NHL, it's still suit culture, but I say the word suit very loosely because they've, like, you see sometimes some of these guys walking, it's like, I know that's technically a suit, but like, you look that's a cool looking outfit.
Right.
Like, that's not a suit I would define at like a wedding, but that looks fucking amazing, right?
Okay, but I'm gonna play devil's advocate now. Would you not consider sometimes the recommendations of outfits for the clubs, like kind of like the uniform? Like in every sport, there's a uniform.
Well, this is the thing. Like there's different types of clubs, right? Like there's super private clubs, right? Where people pay like $100,000 yearly memberships, right? So be absolutely respectful of the rules of that golf course, right?
But like
if you're playing like a super public golf course, I don't know.
Like where did like the golfing, like where did the polo skirt a certain length? Pants, shirt tucked in, all of that kind of stuff.
Probably like in England or wherever the fucking sport was invented.
Because it's known across everywhere.
Remember that they used to come in wearing like button-ups and pants and shit from like.
Yeah, like if you watch like even in like the 60s, like they're wearing dress pants, like wool sweaters and stuff. Yeah. Like imagine
it is already like come down a lot because think about Tiger, like his now he doesn't have a real collar anymore. He's got that whatever collar,
like the mock neck. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's come down a lot now, right?
Yeah. Like even like most clubs, you don't have to tuck in your polo that much. Like people really won't call you out on that. And like hoodie sweaters, that was a big thing on the PGA Tour a couple of years ago. Like one guy wore a hoodie and it was like people that are super hardcore golfers were like, no, that's against the rules. You shouldn't be allowed to wear a hood. Like, you know what I mean?
Same thing. Remember when Beckham wore, it was in his documentary, when he wore white shoes instead of black?
Yeah.
You know, it's like,
like Michael Jordan with the black like you were supposed to wear white basketball shoes. He came out with black Nikes, right?
Who was the basketball player that started the short shorts?
Yeah.
I forget which one, but there was a basketball player that started short shorts when everyone was wearing, the past the knees. And now if you think about hockey, who was wasn't it Gretzky the first person to do the side tuck?
Yeah, yeah.
Right? All it takes is one trailblazer to do it. And like golf, Tigers, Sunday red, the collar, that starts it. And then there's going to be someone else that comes in.
But maybe that's it. It's the correlation with skill to allow you to do that, right? Gretzky was one of the greatest hockey players of all time. Jordan's one of the greatest basketball players. So that's my thing is like if you have the respect and the skill for the golf court, you should be allowed to kind of rock whatever you want.
I think there will be someone, like there will be the next Tiger, right? Who comes in.
too much controversy through his career to completely make a full switch in the industry.
Well, no, but Tiger also like
he's still like
Tiger's one of the best golfers ever and very well respected.
He's also one of the top paid athletes in the whole world between 1999 and 2024.
Yeah,
I just saw that on TikTok.
Top
paid athlete.
Yeah, but lately he's not.
Well, do you guys know about his own brand now? He's not with Nike anymore.
No, Nike.
With Sunday Red is his company.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Because his partnership ended a couple years back,
It was like last year, I think. Yeah.
But mind you, Nike stuck with him during all that shit.
They did.
Look, I'm not saying drinking and driving is okay. That's definitely not okay. I'm not saying cheating's okay. It's definitely not okay. But he didn't kill anybody. He didn't rape anybody. He didn't do anything bad. Yeah. So yeah, he did some things that were not good morally. But
clip it.
Like, no, I'm just saying, like,
yeah, no, but you're right.
I'm like,
but you want we were talking about earlier, the mental thing, right? How actors, you go through some shit. How the hell do you act? Yeah. Tiger, that affected his golf game, right? Getting caught, all that stuff. He didn't win a major for like years after that, right? Yeah. Like he's still having a hard time.
But then there's like, brands are always so quick to drop somebody, but Nike stuck with him. Mind you, they knew he was a cash cow. Like, I get it, but at the same time, like, stick with it.
Yeah,
stick with your man. Again, he's done some shady shit, but fuck, it's Tiger Woods.
Yeah.
All these, every fucking top athlete's done some shit in their day. If there was an athlete, if there was a golfer to break through and to change the culture in golf, who do you think it would be?
Wow. You know what? It's already changing, like with YouTube. Like me and one of my best friends, Chetty, we just started a golf YouTube channel. So we're filming each other playing golf. But like that was a huge transition too, is like golf YouTubers, like people filming themselves, making content. Like there's this group of guys called Good. I don't know if you're aware of them. They're young kids, like early 20s. They're like making millions now through merch and everything. They just started filming themselves golfing like 5 years ago, and now they've made it a whole business, right? So there's so many kids that aren't even professionals that are just have good personalities. They have good editing teams to make the content. They come up with all sorts of different ideas for videos. Like those are the front runners of golf now. Like me, I don't even really watch the PGA Tour that much because, for one, I don't have cable. I got rid of it since I moved to Newmarket 5 years ago. But like YouTube, like you can find whatever you want on YouTube, and it's so sick, right? So that's like the future of golf, to be honest with you, is those kids. All right. Like I'm already working with a couple of guys, like sending them stuff, and like, yeah. So those are kind of, they're the ones that are going to change the game for sure.
I was not expecting that. I thought you were going to be some like random European kid golfer, like some 17-year-old prodigy.
No. I actually just watched a video, I think Vice or Vox did it. It was on the advertising for golfers, like how they're starting to look like NASCAR, and like the price points of like different ad locations. Yeah. Like if a golfer's right-handed, you want to put a logo on his left arm and like opposite. It was like really interesting. But
yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Is there any athlete that you would want to have a dream collaboration with?
Jeez.
With like tight knit and this athlete.
Damn, I don't know, man. I really don't know. Athlete, like, just trying to think of athletes that I like. For me, like, I looked for like a lot of inspiration, like in skateboarding and stuff. Like Nigel Houston's like huge. Like I love his like baggy shirt, like gym shorts fit like that. I kind of copy that style. Like, so he would be dope. But like, guys like Justin Bieber, like someone Canadian. Like that's another thing about my brand is like I love Canada. I'm so passionate about our country, especially the city of Toronto. And like when I first started the brand, I was working with a lot of local artists. I was going to a lot of local shows just because I love the music. I love the community. So like, yeah, anyone that's
like a tight knit Drew House collab.
Yeah, that would be dope, right?
That'd be a sick collab.
Yeah. And I heard, because Justin's been posting a lot of golf stuff on his Instagram, and there's rumors that he's going to start a golf brand as well.
Well, who knows? Right? They might have their baby here and just stay here for a bit longer.
Yeah, that's right. She's pregnant.
What else is he going to do? Up in Cambridge, Guelph, wherever he is. Yeah. Golf.
Maybe pickleball. You never know. Maybe pickleball. No, but that would be sick, doing like a collab with one of them.
Yeah, like people like that, you know what I mean? That have that drip, you know what I mean? Because most athletes, especially in golf, they don't have it. You know what I mean? Like they're kind of dorky dudes.
You can tell their wives shop for them.
Yeah. So.
Did we ever thought about like selling in pro shops and stuff?
So I had a brand, a company. They own a couple golf courses in the southern Ontario region. They reached out, so I put together like a sales deck or whatever for them, but it didn't work out. But yeah, I've had people reach out. It's just like the logistics is kind of tough. For like I said, this is like a side hustle. I don't make a lot of pieces, and when it sells out, it's like gone. Because I like creating new stuff, and like I don't want to be like
stuck into one
t-shirt. Like I have to sell 200 of these t-shirts, like, you know what I mean? So
it's kind of cool though. It makes it unique.
Yeah.
I just keep thinking, do you know who Ollie Shanks is?
I've heard of him.
So Ollie's a good friend, and he, during COVID, he was in nightlife hospitality during COVID. Obviously, the world shut down. He ended up like buying into a driving range near London, Ontario.
Oh, wow.
Just redeveloped the whole thing, made it like a fun, cool spot that people would come and hang out at.
Yeah.
And I just like, I know there's no direct correlation, but I just feel like you guys got to know each other, just shoot the shit about golf, because he's a passionate golfer too.
Yeah.
But just also for like the brand, I feel like you guys could do some cool shit.
Yeah, like there's a lot of simulators, like that's a big thing now, right?
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Like hosting parties at a sim, or like partnering with one of them, right? But it's like, again, I only have like 5,000 followers on Instagram, like 6,000 on TikTok. You know what I mean? So it's like I'm not at that, you know, Ricky level yet, where companies are reaching out all the time, being like, you know, let's do that. Right. So
no, but again, it takes time. You'll get there, right? And it's all about building the right community, which you are. And even when you said the word community earlier, I was thinking the same thing.
Yeah.
Because it's what it's about. It's about, especially if you're a brand, it's about building the right community with the right people.
100%.
You can have 1 million followers, but if your brand isn't tight knit in a community, then these million followers aren't buying.
There's a lot of brands like that's another problem with streetwear. It's like a lot of these brands, the owners think they're too cool to like interact with their customers or like prospects or whatever, right? And for me, it's like if you send me a DM, I'm going to answer you, and I'm always going to chop it up with you. It doesn't matter if you've bought from me or anything, you know what I mean? Unless you're a scammer from like India or whatever. But like
exactly what
I wanted to change that whole thing about streetwear, because like even some of these streetwear shops in Toronto, you go in there, like the guy doesn't even say hi to you.
It's intimidating.
And yeah, you feel intimidated.
And it's like, what the hell? Like, why am I intimidated going to buy something from your store? I just came in here to look at shoes or whatever, and like now I feel weird, and I'm gonna leave, right? Like some people.
Well, you see this all the time with like these stars that go on reality shows. Like you go on a reality show, you get 1 million followers overnight, and it's like, oh, I'm gonna launch a brand, and I'm gonna sell T-shirts. It's like, well, did you talk to any of your fans? Like, did you show up to these events? What did you do? Or is this a money grab?
Yeah.
If you're just trying to make money, then people are gonna see right through it. Do you know who actually I think does a really good job? Do you know Levi Bentley?
Yeah.
So he's got Trinity the label. It's called Trinity the label.
Yeah.
And he does a run club like once a month.
I saw that.
Crew,
yeah.
I think it's fucking
That's
great.
a great idea.
Yeah. Glorious. Jeff Gloria. His brand's called Glorious something. Glorious Athletics. I went to his run club maybe 2 weeks ago just because I heard about it. I was like, I heard it's a 200-person run club that he does. Like,
the pictures were actually insane. I'm like, this is not real.
I heard it was a 200-person run club on a Saturday morning on King West. I'm like, I need to go see this. I don't fucking believe it's 200 people. I kid you not. There was fucking at least 250 fucking people at this run club. Wow. I literally could not believe it. I was just like, and he gave away shirts to people. Just seemed like a cool fucking dude. After I was done, I was like, yo, man, like I introduced myself to him. I was like, yo, I think what you're doing is great. I think you're a cool dude. Don't know anything about you. I'd love to, have you on the podcast, shoot the shit, hear your story. Because to have 250 fucking people show up for a run club on a Saturday morning at 8 a.m., like, sorry, what? Like, it's not like he's got like 1 million gazillion followers where like 250 people is nothing. 250 people showing up for a run club is a lot of fucking people. Like,
well, I don't like, there's obviously like, I feel like in Toronto right now, there's a big run club fad going on, but I feel like, correct me if I'm wrong, but during COVID, I feel like people lack that sense of community and they couldn't find it.
For sure.
Since then, people are trying to find their space in the city they live in. And it could be something completely different than you were in before. So I just feel like building that through a brand is so important.
Yeah. Yeah. That's why like I want to be really front facing for the brand, because I want people to relate to me or like, see who I am like as a person, right? Like,
that's important.
To hide behind the brand, to act too cool, like that's so corny to me. You know what I mean? So
agreed.
You know what I mean?
Again, it's your brand. Like you built this because you are the ideal customer.
Oh, for sure. Like I've had people say, "Oh, you're not allowed to like upload photos of yourself wearing or like what." I'm like, "There's no rules to this shit." You know what I mean? Like I can do whatever the hell I want.
We had Scott from LTD on Team LTD. Same thing. Thought he was a cool dude. Had him on. His story was great too. And the same thing for him. He was living his metaphorical dream, doing these like Red Bull crash sites things. He wanted to build a brand that he loved and the shit he could rock. It's like, yo, fuck, good for you. It's a little different. He's doing that. Like he's pursuing that on that side and they want to push it hard, a little bit different now. But the idea behind why is the same, right? Yeah. You want something that you love, that you're proud of, that you and your homies can fucking rock together.
For sure.
Right? And that's
like the thing that makes me so happy is like I'll get a DM and it'll be like, oh, I saw this guy rocking a tight knit tee in the city. So I went up to him and like, you know, it's him, it's this guy. And like, I know him through this or whatever. I'm like, dude, that is exactly why I made this shit. You know what I mean? Like if you see someone rocking a tight knit tee, say, oh, you know Ty or like, or, oh, how do you know the brand? You know what I mean? Like it's that opportunity to meet someone new and like chop it up.
It's like sparking the conversation. Ricky actually did this. We have pals hats and he gives them away to people on the street.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Makes it seem like I give it to random people. When I'm at the bar and someone compliments my hat, I'll just give it to them.
He'll give them a hat. But then he saw someone wear the hat once and he was like, oh, where'd you get that hat? Cool hat. And the girl's like, oh, it's like a friend's.
Yeah.
Or what'd you say?
So we're outside Parlor, obviously on King West.
Yeah.
St. Patty's Day. Our hats are green.
Yeah.
So I see her rocking this Pal's hat. And like, I know a Pal's hat. I could spot it a mile away.
Yeah.
So I go to her. I was like, hey, like, where'd you get that? She's like, why? I was like, I'm just curious. She's like, it's my friends. I was like, oh, like, who's your friend? She's like, why? What's it to you? I was like, I'm the, like, that's me. She's like, what do you mean you're the Pals? I'm like, it's my brand. She goes, what do you mean it's your brand? I'm like, I literally don't know how to say this. I'm like, I created that brand. It's my brand. She goes, no, it's not. I'm like, it is. Who the fuck is your friend? I just want to know because they're probably my friend too. Like, she's like, no, it's so-and-so that got it from this guy. And I was like, okay, I know that guy. Thank you. Like, fuck. Wow,
that's amazing.
It was just like a fun thing. And then sometimes, like, there's a lot of people on King West that'll rock it.
Yeah.
And my friends will text me like, oh, I saw this, like, light-skinned girl wearing the Pal's hat. I'm like, is it near King and Parlor? She's like, yeah. I'm like, it's Chanel. She works at Locals.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
And she rocks it all the time.
Yeah.
And shit like that's fun to me, right? Like,
shout out Chanel. I was a bar back at Locals.
No, you weren't.
Yeah.
When?
Oh, Christ. Well, when I lived down here.
So 6 years ago.
Yeah, like
5 years.
7 years.
I wanted to ask, because you mentioned that you love the city. Then why'd you leave?
It was just time. Like, you know, the wife didn't love the city that much, but that's what I miss the most is like being in it. You know what I mean? Like I could walk to a local show or just like we were talking about getting our steps in, like walking, like in this city, your step counter flies because there's so much to see. You're walking around, you know what I mean? Like up in Newmarket now, like I have to walk through parks and like all this boring shit.
Main Street's nice.
Right? Main Street is nice. Yeah. It's kind of bumping right now.
It's bumping right now in the summer.
Yeah, I'm a city guy. Like I grew up in the burbs. I always loved the Toronto hip hop scene, like watching Rap City and all that. Like I was just so involved in the Toronto city culture that when I finally moved down here, I was so hyped. But yeah, we just, as far as like, you know, making a family and getting married and all that stuff, like we can't live in a condo forever.
Wait, do you have kids?
So.
Sorry.
My wife is pregnant.
Wow,
so,
congrats.
Yeah.
Exciting. Boy or girl?
Girl in November. Yeah.
No way.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Unreal. First?
Yeah. First one.
Amazing.
Congrats. That's so exciting.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
We just found out my brother's having a baby girl.
Oh, nice.
In January or Feb. So
beautiful. Yeah.
Really excited.
So lots happening. We actually just sold our house in Newmarket. We're moving to Barrie now. So we're going even further north.
Same kind of shit. Though.
But at least we got like our forever home. Like we can live there for like the next 50 years. You know what I mean?
Unreal.
So,
and you work from home day job?
Yeah. Work from home.
Okay.
So.
And she's psychotherapy, right?
She's psychotherapist.
Online or in person?
In person in Newmarket, but she's moving towards like a more management role, so she can work from home.
Oh, unreal. Good.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
How's it being married to a psychotherapist?
Honestly, it kind of worked out because
you don't have to answer if you don't want to.
No, it's fine. Like she understands things, I think, better. Right? Like obviously she's probably all analyzing it, but you know what I mean? Like I had a problem with drugs and alcohol. Like I'm almost a year and a half sober now. And I think if she wasn't a therapist, like she would have like left me years ago. You know what I mean? So I think her mindset and having the knowledge of like, you know, addiction or like, you know, all the work that she's done with different types of people, I think it probably opened her mind a bit to be more accepting and forgiving, and yeah. Do you ever? Well, like 2 questions. One, do you think that her being a psychotherapist helped you get through this, like recovery and through the addiction? And the second part is, have you ever felt that she was over analyzing regular parts of your life? No, I don't. It's hard to say, right? Because, yeah, I don't know. It's tough to say. Like, she would try to push me in the right direction, but at the end of the day, you have to do it yourself, 100%. Right? So for me, I was just so sick of being hungover and feeling like crap and, oh my God, what did I say to this person? And like really acting out a character. Like, I'm such a nice, approachable guy. And like when I was on everything, like I was just a bad person. So it's like I had to like hit my own rock bottom to get sober, right? Like she was there with me, but she was like, you know, she was about to go, right? So it was kind of one of those things like you have to do it yourself. Yeah, it probably helped. Like I said, she's more, you know, communicative and understanding and stuff. So I don't know how to compare it, because at my worst, I wasn't with another person to like compare that to, you know what I mean? So it's tough to say.
I feel like you have to be the right type of person to be able to take that. Cause like I know some friends of mine, if they were getting analyzed they'd become paranoid. So
right.
So that's why I asked, cause I went on a date with a girl who was a therapist, and I don't know if she was therapist or psychotherapist, but to me, it's kind of the same. Mm-hmm. And any question she asked, I was questioning myself. I'm like, is she analyzing me or is she asking to ask because this is what we do on a date?
I see what you're saying.
I didn't know. And it's just like, she'd ask me a normal question. I'm like, okay, I haven't been asked that question before on a date. So is that a therapist question or is that a real question?
Right.
And at one point I even asked her, and I was just like, are you asking the same questions that you would ask like a client? Like, she goes, well, some of them overlap just because I'm genuinely curious. Yeah. And I was like, oh, does my answer like bring any red flags? Right. She's like, do you think they bring any red flags? I'm like, that I feel like is the question you would ask a fucking person during a session. Like, I go to therapy. I've been in therapy. I know what to expect. Like, I feel like I'm in therapy right now. She's like, then maybe that's on you, not on me. I was like, fuck.
They're humans too, right? Like they've got their own issues, right? So yeah, you're right in some sense, but
what's your wife's name? Give her a shout out.
Rachel. Shout out to Rachie.
Shout out Rachie.
Love you, baby. Gang.
Love that. And congrats on the almost soon to be baby girl. What's the name of the baby girl?
We're working some things right now. Yeah, we're working some things, but
we love that.
Yeah.
Well, we are nearing that time. I want to ask, like, what's the rest of the year look like for you and Tight Knit?
Just thinking of something. So obviously a lot's happening this next couple months because we're moving and everything. But I do have a golf tournament. I'm hosting a hole August 3rd. Obviously, it's like in the food industry too. This guy just reached out. He's like, "Yo, man, I love your brand. Like, it would be awesome if you sponsor a hole." So I'm doing that. I'll be there with a tent, selling gear. So that's exciting. But yeah, just
what's
like
the golf tournament?
God, I forget the name of it. That's my dementia again. I'm so bad. But it's at Glen Eagles in Caledon.
A great
I'll be there. But apparently it's like people in the restaurant industry or whatever. So that'll be kind of neat. Maybe I'll see some people, you know, who knows, right? So that's exciting. But for the most part, just like getting in a new space. I've got some like sweaters coming, some new tees, some more socks, you know, just making what I kind of want to make. You know?
What's your best seller?
Honestly, I should be a sock brand because I market it as the best socks in the world. I brought you guys some.
That.
But like the feedback from my socks is like people are like, these are my favorite socks. Like I had a buddy order like 25 like one time. Like I've sold like over 300 pairs of socks. I'm like, yeah, I should almost be just a sock brand at this point. So
we fucking love that.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
Good. Danny, anything else?
No, I'm just thinking about socks. I love socks.
I brought you a pair, so you're good.
Man, we appreciate you coming on.
Thanks for having me, guys. Like I said, I've been following you guys for a while, so it was sweet when you reached out.
No, man,
it's a lot of fun.
We thought about. I literally sometimes I'll just go through my Instagram, like people that like I'll go through like my DMs, and like I just look for names that like I get curious about sometimes. And we don't care about followers. We don't care about who's gonna share, who's not gonna share, who's gonna get us the most amount of views. Like again, do I want to sit down with someone for an hour and a half? Does Danny want to sit down? And there's times where like Danny will bring up a name. I'm like, Danny, I personally don't care about this reality star, but if that's what you want to care about, fuck it. Let's do this. I will find something entertaining. And I'm sure.
And you're curious people, right?
That's
like,
why. So
I do want to, I appreciate that you guys like have smaller brands on like me or like whatever, right? Because some podcast companies, they just want the headlines or whatever, right? So I just appreciate
we want to meet interesting people. And like, there's some days too, like we've had some people on that were like, oh, like, I don't know if this is going to be a great episode, but like we need to do it right now. Right. We go and do it. Ends up being some of our favorite episodes that we've ever recorded.
And then vice versa. We've had people with, you know, hundreds of thousands of followers.
And it was
it's like you were doing us a favor by being on here. It's like, yo, chill the fuck out. I got a couple 100,000 followers too. Like, don't act like you're better than us. Like, or maybe our pod doesn't do millions of views or 100,000 views, but like, yo, this is a mutual exchange of time. We want to hear about your life. We want you to want to be here too and have fun with us. Mind you, for the most part, we're good. We might have had maybe like 5 episodes where people thought they were too big to be here. Like, and they weren't bad. Like one was
call them out. Let's clip it.
No, like, we're at the end anyways. Most people don't make it to the end. We had when Donovan Bailey came on, it was like it's Donovan fucking Bailey, so we knew he's too big to be on our podcast. But he made it known.
Damn.
He's like, if it wasn't for COVID, I wouldn't be here.
Oh my lord.
But he said it like 5
Donovan.
times. But no, we love Donovan. Like he signed pictures for us after.
Yeah.
Like I'm an Olympic hardo. Like I fucking love the Olympics.
Yeah.
So like Donovan Bailey's still the coolest guest we have.
Yeah,
to me.
for sure.
Even though he was
Legend.
too big to be on
Absolute
here.
Legend. Yeah.
Yeah, he is a fucking legend though. So, anyways, Donovan, love you, buddy. Welcome to come back on whenever you want. Yeah, he was too big to be here. Danny, anything else?
No, I think that's
Again,
it.
man, appreciate you for coming.
Appreciate
if
you guys.
people want to find out more about you, Tight Knit, where can they go? How can they find you?
Yeah, so it's tightknitclothing.com. I ship international, free shipping in Canada over $100. Tight Knit Clothing on TikTok, Tight Knit Clothing Co. on Instagram.
Okay, wait. That's how I started buying socks. That free shipping over $100.
Yeah.
I started doing and always adding a pair of socks, and then now I have all these fun socks, and I am obsessed. And now I'll actually go back to certain things and just buy the socks.
There you go.
Fun fact of the
Tight
day.
Knit socks now, forever.
That's how Danny goes to like the sale, clearance, short buy, lowest to highest. Yeah. Okay, I need $3.
No, you always need socks.
That's the thing. I've got so many people that just buy like one hat. I'm like, that's so weird. My shopping experience is like, if I find a new brand, I'm gonna get at least
Couple
2
things.
or like make the shipping worth it.
Yeah,
or try to get the free shipping.
Or like,
right?
because like I get like really pissed right now with like I've been buying a lot because I'm going to Europe. Sorry, I'm gonna say this really quick, and I'll buy like one thing from one brand, but then I know I'm gonna have duties and stuff from Australia, and like I just get fucking pissed.
Yeah.
Where it's like right now I ordered something from Skims. I message every single one of my friends. I'm like, who hasn't ordered yet? Like, let me add. I don't want to spend more money.
Exactly.
Let me add to my order because I don't want this fucking $30 shipping that I could get for free.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Anyways, I took the L today many times, but that's another story.
Yeah, again, Ty, appreciate you coming on, man. This is a blast. And guys, if you made it to the end of this, we appreciate you. Give Ty a follow, support local brands, give Danny a follow, give myself a follow, and we will see you guys next week.
Bye.
Cheers.
Keep it tight.
You like to drink and to smoke to take away the pain, and I don't remember all of my mistakes and every high. Got alone with no one.